Welcome to I'm on the Phone with moms Sara and Christy. You're on the party line. Let's have some fun. Well, good morning, Christy.
Good morning.
We have our coffee finally,
Yes,
and I might need to pause to get some more.
no kidding. I've already had one full large cup from a
Oh,
coffee
my
shop.
second one.
Well, this is my second one, and I've got to stop after this one. I drink coffee afternoon, and I am awake. Like at night, I crash around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but then I'm awake at night.
Oh my goodness.
Stupid. So it's hot tea for me the rest of the day after this one.
Oh, well, that's not awful. I just like hot drinks, to be honest, but I really like my coffee.
Yeah. Same.
So I was going over some old notes and was reminded of something that I actually want to tell you about, but I also want to ask you because you have to have stories
I'm
because
sure I do.
we both have 4 kids. That's all we need to say right there.
Days that take up all of our time. Well, not all
So
of it.
what I know there's probably more than one, but what is like one of the things that your kids have ever done that like just pushed the red don't push this button unless it's an emergency? Like that put you at probably like DEFCON 1.
Yeah.
What has happened with your kids on like the crazy scale?
Okay, so the more recent one, um, I'm trying to think like when they were younger, I don't remember them like pushing that button to the point where I was just like, about to lose it. But my parenting was different back then too. And
Yeah.
so I don't think that I allowed them to get to that point in some ways. But recently, my two oldest got into a fight. And while that is not unheard of, or, they fuss a lot,
Yeah.
they actually got physical this time.
Oi.
And I about brought back some of the old parenting that I used to do that were highly damaging. Oh, I got pretty red in the face about that one. For it's one thing for you to just fight, just to
Right.
bicker and even yell at each other. That's one thing. When you actually lay hands on each other, it takes it to a whole new level, especially for me, because
Yeah.
here I am like completely in love with both of these little girls, and I just want to give them everything. And as a mom, to see your kids actually treating each other that way, like
Yeah.
torn in between wanting justice for both of them.
Right.
Oh, it just put me into such a tailspin, and I lost it. I lost it on both of them. Of course, I didn't touch either one of them, but I lost it verbally on both of them.
Oh,
And there were definite consequences for their actions. But I
yeah.
still I still get really upset about it when I think about it. What's
Unfortunately,
your story?
something that like my two girls, oh, they can get vicious pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
But the one that I think of, they were really little. In fact, I think my youngest was like an infant,
Mm,
or she like wasn't mobile yet.
okay.
Um, so they were all pretty young. I think the oldest might have been, he would have been 6.
Okay.
So like they were little.
Wow.
And so back then, the house that we lived in, um, it had 3 bedrooms, but
Mhm.
because they were all so little, um, they shared a room, and we were getting ready to turn that third bedroom into the girls' room,
Okay.
but we hadn't done it just yet
Yeah.
because like they were so tiny, and I was very overwhelmed.
Oh, I bet.
But anyway, so it was like it had a bed in it, and it had, but we stored a lot of stuff in there because we didn't have lots of storage.
Okay.
Um, so there, triggering more memories. There were like bags of dry beans in there just randomly. I'm trying to think what else, but I remember the beans because they were purchased because of our pastor, who was a big prepper. And the end of the world's going to come very soon, and we have to be able to handle the apocalypse. Um, that's, oh God, it's such a whole nother ball of
We
wax.
got to get our bunker ready.
We got to have our bunker, we got to have our beans.
The most non-perishable item. That is hilarious.
For real. And so, like, they were in that room, and we had a lot of that stuff in there.
Yeah.
Not that we had a lot because we couldn't afford it, but so those were in there. But I don't exactly remember why. Oh, it probably got quiet, and I was like, "What's
Worst.
going on?" And so I go back to this room, and I think I'm carrying the baby, and I come to find that the oldest one, who then encouraged the second oldest one, had taken
Oh,
a permanent marker and drawn mountains on every wall, all the way around. And I don't mean little mountains, I mean big mountains.
permanent marker.
Permanent, and it was sparkly permanent marker.
Oh my goodness. Oh my word.
Um, oh,
I literally can feel the blood drain from my face. Like I can feel.
that's,
Was it a
yes.
rental?
No, I mean, yes,
Okay.
actually, yes, it
Oh, it was a
was,
rental. Oh,
but it was owned by our church. Um,
still. It, oh my goodness.
so I was in shock at first, just taking it all in because it was so much.
Yeah.
And at first, I thought the younger one had done it because they knew less because they would have been 4.
Okay.
Um, but no,
So your youngest one currently was of an infant.
an infant, and the other. I mean,
But
it
you
could
had
only have
all
been
four
one of the
children.
two oldest.
Okay.
And it turned out it was actually the oldest. Um,
Permanent marker is even hard to paint over.
yeah.
Like you can't cover
Well,
it up very easily.
fortunately, we were we had the invention of magic eraser at
Yes.
that point, and oh my goodness! But I do not ever remember being more angry
Yeah.
than I was at that point because, like, the amount of work that would have to go in to fixing this was beyond just cleaning walls and repainting.
Yeah.
It was a total clean out of the room because it was storage. You couldn't just walk in there and paint or walk in there
Yeah.
and even clean the walls.
Oh my
And
goodness.
oh, oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever been so upset in my life when it came to my kid.
Bring, I mean, I didn't have a big problem with writing on the walls with the kids.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, me neither.
yeah,
My
it
kids
wasn't
didn't really,
often. Yeah.
although now that I think about it, my boys have a wooden um toy box
Uh-huh.
that is very covered in artwork.
Okay. Now I did have that. Like, yeah, for sure. Not necessarily on the walls, but their toys and their sometimes their books.
Yeah,
Um, I felt like I was constantly telling them not to write on their stuff.
yeah,
And because they would regret it later. Like it wasn't necessarily hurting me. It was just
right.
I remember my oldest drew on one of her babies, like trying to put I don't know if it was makeup or I don't know what she was trying to do. But she like drew on her face and on her arm. And she regretted that so bad when she got older. She was just like, why did I do this to my baby? And we don't necessarily get rid of babies unless they choose
Right.
to send them out, but it was just devastating to her later. So I felt like I was battling that more than anything.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
as far as
goodness.
like that is concerned, there is one story just real quick that my son did. He was the one that was, I would say, the most destructive,
Yeah.
like to property and stuff like that. And he was destructive early. Like
Oh.
I remember when he started crawling, it was very nightmarish to me. I had to make sure that everything was up off the floor. He would eat everything. I mean, everything went in his mouth. And then he would pull things off of the shelf, like if it was to where he could reach it and stuff like that. There was one time
Oh.
there were several times I came downstairs and there was just stuff all over the floor from like cereal boxes or, whatever.
Oh.
One time I was in the middle of painting my dining room. It was in the two-story house and we used to live in. And I came down and he was like 8 months old. He wasn't walking yet, he was crawling. And he had taken the can of paint and I must not have gotten the lid on it completely. And it was all over the floor. And he was just sitting there slapping it. That's how little he was. And I got to him right before he put his fist in his mouth. Like, in fact, I was
Oh
like
my goodness.
checking him to make sure that there was no paint in his mouth, because it's just highly poisonous to
Yeah.
ingest. And so he went straight up to the bathtub. I had to completely throw away his clothes that he was wearing.
Yeah.
And I
How
had
long did you
not
sweep the
left him,
floor?
huh?
How did you clean that up?
Oh, Sarah, I don't even remember. Well, I know that I used like a scraper to like put a lot of it back in the paint can, but I don't think I could use it anymore because there was stuff on the floor that got
Right.
into the paint can.
Right.
And I think ultimately I threw that can away. I had like maybe one or two others, but I used a drop cloth to get the rest of it up. But he was like my first priority. And then I put him in his high
Oh
chair and
yeah.
just kept him away from everything until I cleaned it up. I just remember I didn't leave my kids. I'm such a helicopter mom. I never left my kids for long periods of time just by themselves, especially that young.
I know, yeah. You probably just
And
ran upstairs to grab something real quick.
I literally did. I ran upstairs. He was in the living room playing with toys on his
Yeah.
blanket or on the carpet or something. I ran upstairs to grab something. I wasn't even on the phone. I did not get distracted. Like I wasn't up there for a long period of time. I don't even think it was 2 full minutes. And he had crawled into the dining room and done that before I could even get back.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it was crazy. So Yeah. And my daughters were in the living room, like had no clue what was going on. Otherwise, they would have been screaming.
I honestly can't even fathom trying to clean that mess up. Like that part is, I've seen videos of stuff like this happening where some kid spills like a whole gallon of paint or even 5 gallon paint buckets. And I'm just, I it hurts to watch.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine like
Well, it was on
what
wood
you were,
floor.
I, that's even worse in
Yeah.
my opinion.
But it was so much, it was such a big puddle that it didn't have any time to dry. And
Oh,
so
good.
I was able to get it wiped up and get it out of like the crevices and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But I ended up those floors really needed to be sanded and completely redone.
Well, I guess they
I was
got them
not,
now.
yeah, I was not going to be sanding those floors and doing all that mess. So I
Oh,
ended up just painting the floor. I painted
oh.
all of my wood floors because they were like that orangutan orange. They were horrible color. I hated that the color of the wood on that flooring, and so we ended up just painting the floors, and it looked so much better.
Oh,
Yeah,
I do kind of remember that they were painted. They
yeah,
look nice,
yeah,
but oh my goodness.
yeah.
Okay, so since the last time we talked, I went ahead and watched some Tyler Henry.
Woohoo! I love the Tyler Henry. Oh my goodness, I love
And
him.
I definitely like the show. I watched the first one I watched was the one with him and Jim Parsons, who I love.
Yeah,
Um, and so then I went from there and watched like the first episode of Life After Death on Netflix. Is that what it's
uh-huh.
called? And yes, I love it so much.
He's amazing.
So one of the things that I keep noticing and have been noticing for quite some time now is this is so weird is the how do you put this? It's it's like hypocrisy, double standard, maybe,
Yeah, can barely.
but like in the cult that we came from,
Mhm.
the the amount of knowledge people claim to have
I
about the
know.
innermost working of your mind and your intentions,
Yeah.
especially if you're a woman,
Hmm.
like, but even women were and are this way that are there. And okay, there was this one preacher who scared the crap out of me. In fact, like the camp that we went, the family camp that we went to like every summer,
Yeah.
I started staying at when I became a teenager. This camp, without fail, there would be some of the worst storms of the season during this camp, which
Oh,
really lent itself to the creep factor, like the
yeah.
scary factor during these services where they're preaching like hellfire and brimstone and telling
Yes.
every story to scare the shit out of you so that you'll go to the altar and get saved.
And the storm didn't help at all.
And I'm telling you, the thunder would like at the most opportune time.
A
And
horror film.
it was like being in
Oh
a
my Lord.
horror movie.
Yeah.
And so this was happening one time, one night. Um, I mean, the storm was storming so bad, and it was during an altar call. The electricity had been knocked out. So, like, it's this huge building and it's dark. I don't even know what they were using for light up front. I mean, maybe
You
even
felt like you were going
candles.
to drop right into hell if you didn't go to
Oh,
the altar.
and somehow, supposedly, this preacher had the gift of knowing who needed to go to the altar.
Okay, this is a trigger point for me. Okay, continue. Oh my goodness.
So he would like pace the aisles and I mean, just be watching people. I'm like, how can you see people honestly past 5 feet? It's so dark in here. Like,
Yeah.
but I am just, of course, I'm in terror. Like,
And that you're going to be picked.
please not me, please not me, please not me. Like, don't look at me, don't look at him, don't look at me, don't look at him, don't look at me. Like, I'm just like doing everything to avoid this man.
That
It
is such
scares me anyways.
focus.
Um,
Oh my
and so he of course the people he picked were close to the end of the aisle for the most part. Um, because they're you could get to the altar from there. Um, and I've heard him in different services tell these stories where, according to him, God told him what people were doing, like what sin they were doing, and that they were hiding it. Um, I don't remember what the sins were. And I do remember they were like, I mean, they were bad. I don't think they were illegal, but
yeah.
they weren't. I mean, someone might have been cheating on their partner or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I honestly can't remember the sin, which is kind of ironic considering. Like,
Well, none of his
maybe you don't.
business.
Okay. Get this though. He's telling how God just reveals all these things to him, right? It's like he's a freaking medium.
Yeah. Sounds
Um,
like it.
like this knowledge brought to you by the spiritual realm, apparently, according to him. But we're sitting in a church that is in utter chaos because of some pretty bad crap that's happening. And I mean, we left because it was that bad. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it was the pastor who needed called out and is still there and should be gone. I don't know how he's a pastor. I don't know why he's a pastor. He's
Yeah,
not
is this the
interested
guy
in
that was,
actually being a pastor. He's far more interested in helping you become a survivalist and a bushman and surviving the
okay.
apocalypse.
So this was
Um,
revival at the camp. Well, it was the,
so no, it's the same guy. So this was the same guy who was walking up and down the aisles, who supposedly knew who
the
needs to go to the
pastor.
altar when I no.
Oh,
He's
okay. I'm
this
so sorry.
preacher was now preaching a revival at my church as I'm much
Okay.
older,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
who again supposedly has these things revealed to him,
Yes.
but never caught on to what was happening in our church. Like, because I'm like, for Pete's sake.
Or conveniently just didn't say anything about it. And if
Well,
he was, Sarah, if you think about it, if he was actually being able to pinpoint if people were cheating on their spouses or doing horrible things, and
some
he was
sinning in some
actually
way.
if he was actually being able to call those out, like, and they were real, they were true, then it sounded like he did have a gift. I mean, but he wasn't
He
using
may
it
have. Like, I'm
properly.
not saying that that he wasn't right
But he
on some of
wasn't
these
using
things.
it properly.
But when it came to like the amount of crap that was happening that I knew about, and the fact, I mean, we're talking some pretty bad things.
Yeah.
And the spiritual world was definitely involved.
Yeah.
Um, and he didn't catch up, he didn't pick up on that one.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just, it is so crazy to me how they are totally okay with people, especially preachers or people in positions of authority or leadership, being like, I know these things that God supposedly told me.
Right.
But so often it gets used as just a tool of manipulation.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like a lot of people in the other world they would say is wrong. Like is like media. There's tons of like kooks out there that are taking advantage of people just for their money.
Absolutely. I mean, I
And it's like, but they're doing the same thing. It just has a different veneer.
they're using it to control people.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And I think that discovering, like when I found Tyler Henry, the reason why it was just such a light bulb moment for me that he had this gift is because I think that people do have this gift and on different levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying um, that I am a medium by any
No.
stretch of the imagination. However, there is what I've always called intuition,
Oh yeah.
and I have been able to tell if something is going to happen
Yeah.
or if somebody is doing something wrong
Right.
or somebody's intentions. I have
Yeah.
literally um, set it in my mind, and it has come to be that way. And there's several things I
Like
can,
it eventually came out as truth.
yeah, there is several things I can think of right now, and I remember doing this to my mom, like in my mind, like I would do this and then find out, yeah, this was right, and I was young. I was like maybe 11, 10 or 11
Yeah.
when I realized that I had some pretty keen intuition about this. Now, I have never said God told me anything because I do believe, I mean, my whole life hearing that from people, I feel like that it was always used as a,
Gross.
yeah, yeah,
It's
it
been
was
used so
always,
grossly. And so, I mean, I've had it used against, oh, I've had it used against me in
yeah,
some of the most violating ways.
yeah, absolutely,
And like, it is like soul destroying. It like, I mean, absolutely destroys any trust I have in that person.
absolutely. Anybody who says God told me something, I
I'm
immediately
immediately like,
do
nope,
not like
mine.
them. Yeah, immediately do not like them.
It's like, well, there's
Especially if it was
your big
about
red flag.
someone else, right? Because,
Yeah. Like, well, God didn't
and
tell me
then
so.
one of the people that actually I heard say that then stood up and preached a sermon about how God does not reveal to any man the conditions of someone else. And I'm like, okay, well, you are just contradicting yourself. I mean,
Right.
it was, oh my goodness, I
And
can't
sometimes,
stand it.
like,
I can't
what it
stand it.
is like if you look at people who are like neurodivergent, so especially like people with ADHD or maybe even some autism, but especially ADHD, where like their brain will literally is like a superpower of putting together patterns of behavior, and they it recognizes patterns, and so it catches on, or they catch on to like a to something far more before
Yeah,
other people would. And so
yeah,
it can and seem like you're just talking out of your butt. Um,
yeah. It's not
but like
magic though.
it's
It's
not. It's
just,
just it's like a and I feel like that's what happens to me. And I'm always the one who's like,
mhm,
this is wrong, this is wrong, it's going to get worse if we don't leave now, like this is wrong, this
yeah,
is not okay. this is not just like a one-off, like it keeps happening and keeps happening. But the person in particular that it happened with, a lot of times it would be they're so subtle about it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, sorry. That's just my life. Uh,
Yeah.
Subtleties.
Yeah.
And I pick up on it.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
especially once I became more aware and like educated myself on those types of subtle moves. In fact, that pastor, that was my pastor, is the one who clued me in, and I sought some help from a professional. Like, I'm a friend of mine, and I was like, hey, this is what's happening. I found some information that really describes his behaviors.
Yeah.
And he then sent me some more information about pastors in particular with this type of issue, and blew my mind how accurately these articles described what I was experiencing. Um, and I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy. It's not just me. And that's the first time I learned about narcissism.
From your pastor?
Because I was experiencing it.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew you experienced narcissism. I didn't know that it was from an article he gave you.
No, he didn't give me the. I reached out to a counselor friend,
Oh,
therapist
okay.
friend, because
Okay.
I was okay. So I was like the one who kept observing
Right.
my pastor,
Yeah.
and these issues would
Oh,
crop up.
got it.
And
Oh,
I was always the one who
horrible.
would see it, and
Narcissist.
I can't keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
I was kind, I think. Maybe I wasn't. I don't know. I probably wasn't here and there. Um,
You
but
probably were.
I wasn't the only one seeing it.
Right.
Um, but once I, because it had gotten so bad, Christy, that I did feel like I was losing my mind, that it was probably just in my head. And of course, other people were like, oh, you need to be nicer. Like, just give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, they didn't really mean it like that,
Mm-mm.
yada, yada, yada.
Mm.
But it wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
And so I don't even remember how I found it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was a little bit miraculous in a way because I didn't know what I was looking at or experiencing and what you would call that kind of behavior, because it was so consistent. Um,
Yeah.
and then once I did, and so the counselor friend, like, I don't know, we're like acquaintances, and he's been so incredibly helpful to me
Mhm.
on many occasions where I'm just like, I don't know where to turn. I don't know what this is. I don't know what to do.
Oh,
And I would
I
be
know who you're
like,
talking
hey,
about.
here's the situation.
He's
And
amazing.
he would respond.
Hmm.
And he was the one who sent me back more articles that were specific to pastors with
Yeah.
narcissism.
Yeah.
And apparently it's pretty common, especially in cults.
Oh, imagine that.
Imagine that. And so it
Everywhere.
like that was the first time I'd ever even heard of that.
Uh-huh.
And this was, I mean, we're talking uh over a decade ago
Yeah.
that
Oh, the
I
first time
saw,
I heard the word was from you
and that was only 4 years
4 years ago,
ago.
4.5 years ago. Well, it was 4 years this last August.
Yes. So, well, it's been about 4 years exactly.
Yeah. Because we met in no, it was the end of July. Yeah. So
Yeah,
um
2021.
Or I guess you could say we became best friends at the end of July 2021. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been 4 years. It's not been that long since I've known the word. You introduced me to it. Yeah. Um, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, the counselor.
And
Have
now you know
you talked
who,
to him?
oh, yes. Yeah, you do know him.
Love him. He's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. He's been such a
Oh
lucky
wow.
one. But yeah, that was my first introduction to what it even was.
Wow.
And it's kind of
And then you've been able
interesting.
to like pinpoint it in so many different people in your life.
Well, considering my surroundings, I mean, that's
Right.
super common because it
That
is
you've dealt with
a
from
cult is a
birth.
narcissistic system.
Yeah. Yeah.
So of course it's everywhere.
Absolutely. And being
So
free from that system is in one way invigorating, but it's like
so liberating, but it's also
it's eye-opening for sure. I feel like that,
there's so much the recovery that has to happen because you've been completely brainwashed and you are like
yeah,
starting from the ground up.
yeah. I think it's mainly more my situation, and you see more of my situation with
Well, it's because I'm on the outside
your
looking
view,
in,
yeah, than I do.
but
But
we believe that to each other.
I that's true. That is true. I have had the temptation to go back to that more, I think, than you
Back to what?
the abuse and the
Oh,
narcissistic behaviors. I still haven't gotten away from it completely,
well,
I think.
I feel like you're still in a place. I don't feel like you're in a place where you're able to yet.
No, well, that's true. That's true. I feel okay. So
I
going
feel
back
like
to you,
I live
though.
about 6 months ahead of you as far as like recovery.
Well, for sure, because you started your,
I started before you.
yeah, yeah, but for sure.
So of course I trauma dumped and shared with you, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap. This sounds
Oh,
familiar.
I remember, I still remember when you were standing at the counter telling me that you were in therapy. And I like grabbed onto that and I was just like, who are you talking to? And, because I've been seeking therapy for years and
Yeah.
just constantly being made to feel like that was not the route to go. I needed to pray more. I needed to have more consistent devotions and that kind of thing. And we're just all left to, in that kind of a situation or that kind of environment, we're just all left to our own devices, like our brains are
Well,
just supposed to
everything has a
figure it out.
spiritual, it's all spiritually bypassed, and they completely ignore the fact that you're mind, body, and soul and act like the only thing that exists is your soul.
Yeah, it's all spiritualized.
Completely.
And that's just not the way it works.
Mm-mm.
But okay, so going back to you though, there's something I really feel like, because, like I feel like I talked about like intuition and stuff like that. You have got, and I've always known this about you, well, for the last 4 years at least, um, the uncanny ability to read the room. Like you can walk into a space and really, and I feel like I can too, but not like you can. Like I feel like I do a lot of, I think this is what's going on. But you're just like, this is what is going on. I mean, it's just like, for sure, and you're right on point. It's just crazy. And anyway,
I mean, I would actually agree with that. Um, and I think I do think it's part of like an ADHD brain power thing,
mhm,
especially after like educating myself for so long in this area.
yeah,
Um, and because the playbook for that type of behavior is so predictable.
Yeah.
It's almost in sometimes it almost becomes funny
Yeah.
because it's so like these people have no imagination.
And they've got such audacity. Oh my word. There's so many
Yeah,
people that were just
the,
so ridiculous.
the entitlement, the
Yeah.
audacity, it blows my mind
Yeah.
still, even though I know that it's like I know, but I my mind is still just blown because I cannot fathom
Yeah.
having those sorts of expectations. And
Oh, ridiculous, Sarah.
yeah, I just can't fathom behaving that way. Um,
I can't either.
and here's the hard part for me. It's not that I don't ever behave with some narcissistic behaviors, it's not that they're never there
Right.
because I mean, I cannot tell you how many years I have strived to not behave that way.
Hmm.
A lot of it was before I understood it. I mean, at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was trying not to be.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my life has been spent trying to figure out alone
Yeah.
how to not behave that way because it was so ingrained in me to
Yeah.
do that and to think that way and to look at people a certain way. So like it is still a struggle, like a deep struggle to not be very critical of people, to
Yeah.
not constantly be on the mindset of being critical.
Yes.
And I really hate it so much that it's so hard.
Yeah.
Um and I mean I remember I mean we're looking at like over 20 years or better of trying not to be that way, but also having no support and no understanding and no resources, no tools.
Hmm.
Just, I just know I don't want to be like that,
Exactly. Yeah.
which
Same.
is really difficult and
Mhm.
slow because when you don't know how to, you know,
Think otherwise.
retrain your brain,
Right. Hmm.
it's really, really difficult.
Yeah. I,
And
re- I know that there are still some times that I have to make myself stop, like just wherever I go, really. I'll look at something, and if I'm with my kids, or especially with my like oldest one, well, any of my kids, but
yeah,
a lot of times I'm with my oldest one. If I go into like a store and she's with me, or we're driving and she's with me, and like the desire to make a comment about somebody walking down the aisle or somebody just walking down the
yeah,
sidewalk when we're driving by. If they just don't meet up to certain standards,
yep,
just to make myself stop and not let it come out my mouth, just keep it in there, but
yeah,
also just to retrain my brain and have like this self talk. No, you don't have a clue who they are. You don't know what they're dealing with. The judgment comes
I
in
mean,
the
it
right
plays on,
way after you actually know the person. I feel
yeah,
like you know what they've done. Um, I feel
and
like
you know them well enough to know a, a like a reason for what they're doing.
reason for what they're doing, depending on what they've done, if there's no owning it or apology or anything like that, that's when I am.
That's the kicker for me.
It
I'm
is
like,
for me too. Yeah.
I I would never ever expect like perfection from anyone. And I am
No.
all too aware of my own faults.
Same.
Um, to know that, I mean, that's just not realistic. It's,
Mhm.
and I hate it when people just say, well, I wouldn't, like, we can't expect, like, of course we don't expect perfection. What kind of la la land are you in?
Right.
No one expects perfection, but I do expect accountability.
Absolutely.
And for people to, like, when they mess up, to own it and
Right.
say, I'm sorry, and to actually do something to affect change
Right.
and not just blame it on you or get mad for being called out for their bad behavior.
Right.
And I mean, like, that's the classic narcissistic behavior is, when they, instead of being, oh, I'm so sorry that I hurt you, even if it was unintentional, like, we can hurt people unintentionally all the time. We know this.
Right.
Um, and if they tell you, hey, that hurt me, and you're just like, well, you deserved it and it's all your fault, and give you this whole list of reasons, and it's usually very unkindly put that, you know,
Mhm.
basically you're the problem, not me. Like, how dare you point out my bad behavior? My bad behavior, you made me do it.
Right. Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, not owning it is like so. I own it. I try to own it. I didn't used to, but I try to own it on a daily
I
basis
catch
because
myself still. Like,
yeah,
it's a learning process.
you want to blame somebody else because you really do. You can see where they are to blame. I mean, I
Yeah.
definitely have that in that, but I started to about I don't know how long ago it was now to find things on a daily basis that I could own because I felt like that it was something I can own something every day, if I really wanted to look for it. And some days I can't look for anything to own. I just don't need the discouragement on myself.
Yeah.
But I thought there was a couple of my kids that were really having a hard time owning it. And I thought the best possible strategy would be to show them that it's okay to own it and it is actually very
It's
healing
healing.
to own it.
Yeah.
And they are responsible. I mean,
Right.
everybody has a responsibility in a relationship, and
Yeah.
there are fine lines for sure. But anyway, I just felt like that was the thing to do. It has really helped me in my own
Yeah.
healing and learning how to when you're working on yourself. That is something that I would encourage anyone to go through is just finding things that you can own,
Right.
especially when it's like
Well, and when your kids point stuff out to you, like, and
yeah,
my kids point, I mean, especially as they get older, and one in particular, she also is very gifted at seeing through a lot of bullshit and, like, being able to just, like you said, like, read the room, read the behaviors, like a
right.
book.
Hmm.
And she has, like, pointed some stuff out to me that they're hard to hear. They're very hard to hear.
They are. Yeah.
But and I know I was defensive at first, but I circled back to it just recently and told her, I'm like, I don't want to be like that. So if I'm doing that, please call me out,
Yeah.
because that's not who I want to be.
No.
That's not something that I value.
Mhm.
That's something that I have a problem with. I have a
Right.
problem with other people doing it.
Yeah.
And so how dare I participate in that type of behavior? And
Right.
so it's not that, like, I'm never gonna, like, fail in that again,
Yeah.
but I do expect the failure to become less and less.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I expect there to be positive change.
Absolutely. So back to the preacher. Um,
Yeah,
I do think that he probably did have a gift, especially if he was like,
potentially.
but he wasn't using it correctly. And as far as like Tyler Henry is concerned, he doesn't he doesn't talk about super personal information. He uses his gift for a positive outcome instead of something that is like a negative.
Oh, it's very,
Um,
it was used for fire insurance,
for what?
for, like, fire insurance theology. Like,
Oh, I don't
it
get that.
wasn't because they cared about you. I mean, they cared about you in a way of,
Right.
it's really hard to honestly, for me to call it care,
Yeah.
but they would say that it's care
Yeah.
because they cared about you not going to hell. You know what I mean? Like, so they did it so that you would get saved, join the cult, and not go to hell.
It was fear promoting. So,
Yes.
yeah.
It was a very, very fear based
Yes. Yes.
thing.
Yeah. It was a fear control. And I never got that. I never understood like why we were so okay. So what the way that I see it is now is that I really didn't even when I was little and going into like my teenage years, I never understood why I had such fear, like why the Lord would desire for me to have such fear. Like the kind of fear that I had was debilitating. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't if I went to school and went to a chapel service and I was just very convicted about something
Yeah.
that was not even really sin. It wasn't sin. Um, now that I understand more about what sin really is, I,
Yeah.
I didn't sin when I was younger. And,
No.
um, and so it was, I would go to a chapel service and then I remember just having to go right back to school. And here I was just very convicted about this thing and ready to drop into hell. I mean, that's what the way I felt. I was just like going straight to hell. If the Lord came back right now, I'd go to hell, and just
Right.
that
Well, so
idea
much of
that,
what I've come to understand as what we would have called conviction.
yeah,
Um, oh, this is so weird. It was a nervous system response to fear.
yeah.
And I mean, like it was visceral.
And it wasn't from God
No,
at all.
it was literally like trained into your mind
Yeah.
to feel a certain way if you did things that went against the rules written or unspoken. Um, and varying from church to church, who would be the most, say, vocal about the things that you were doing.
Hmm.
Um, it, it almost makes me sick, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, one of those things, and this is how I have come to understand that because of my personal story
Yeah.
with makeup, of all things. No surprise there, such a Jezebel.
Yes.
Um, but I remember, oh, it makes me so angry. Very early on, I think in our probably my first year of marriage, because we were still living in our apartment.
Yeah.
Uh, no, this is just one of okay. No, well, I wasn't living in my apartment, but I do remember living in my apartment. I'm an adult. I'm like 25,
Hmm.
25 years old in my first apartment. Either I think we had just got married or we were about to,
Hmm.
somewhere in there. It's very, very early on. And I had, of course, now that I'm not going to the cult college, um, I'm allowed to buy makeup now, right?
Yeah.
Although I had some while I was there and they sort of used it for stuff like the administration, which I find
Right.
hilarious
Oh my word.
because you got to have makeup for video, right? Guess whose door they came knocking on?
It's a wonder they didn't take it away from you. Like, just be like, We're confiscating.
I'm like, oh, this isn't hypocritical at all. And putting it on a man, no less. Um,
Yes.
anyways, was not expecting that memory to come up. Um, but so anyways, I'm an adult. I'm 25. I'm in my own apartment. I buy some makeup and it's not like anything crazy. It's not a lot. I think at that point I was just like putting a little bit of like liner on. Um,
Yeah.
not even, it wasn't liquid. It was like a powder.
Hmm.
Um, and I remember feeling in my body this uptick of like what I now know to be like an anxiety response.
Yeah.
And like I would be like, I would get like short of breath and I would have a physical response to it because I knew what people thought about it.
Yeah.
People that their opinions mattered to me
Right.
at that time. They don't anymore.
Yeah.
And so this happened over the course of probably a couple years or so.
Hmm.
And I would still do it, but I would just feel every time I would put makeup on, I would have a visceral response to it.
Yeah.
And so eventually that turned into me claiming that it was God gently leading me away from makeup. All makeup, including like concealer, etc. And one of our first ladies retreats we went to, it was like the first or second one, I can't remember. Threw it in the devil fire to burn up my makeup.
Yeah.
And of course, it lit up even brighter because, hello, makeup has flammable chemicals in it.
Terrible.
And so, of course,
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
very spiritualized, etc. And so, for the next 7 years, I did not touch makeup.
Oh, Sarah.
And it was, like I said, it was all spiritualized. And like, even like I believed it.
Yeah.
I believed it.
Yeah.
It was part of my testimony.
I'm so glad we are done with personal testimonies.
Oh my goodness. So, what led me out of that was I was at a friend's house and it was like for a Valentine's Day party or something. And she just asked me, like, do you think the Lord will ever release you from this thing? And I honestly had never even considered that. However, during this whole time, mind you, this whole 7 years,
Yeah.
I watch makeup tutorials and influencers constantly on
Yeah.
YouTube. Constantly.
Yeah.
I love it. So I love makeup. Like it makes
It's
me
an
so
art
happy.
form.
And I'm an
It is
artist.
exactly.
And so I'm just watching. And like, I mean, I could do makeup for people who didn't really like wear a lot of makeup at all.
Yeah.
Excuse me, if any. I
Yeah.
really helped some girls in my culty college wear some things that made them feel pretty, but it wasn't a full face. I mean, it was barely anything. It was just enough, like doing their eyebrows,
To
to
make them feel
shaping their
confident.
eyebrows to make them
Yeah.
feel pretty.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like you looked at them and were like, oh, good grief, like she's painted her face. It wasn't
Yeah.
like that. And there's one in particular that I remember like the impact was so huge. And like she truly did not believe she was pretty. And she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I did like the tiniest amount of makeup. And
Yeah.
her response, I will never forget. So
That's
anyways,
cool.
so my friend asked me that, and on the way, I had been doing makeup on like one of the girls, like one of their daughters, and helping them. And I was just talking about like small things you can do for a big impact
Right.
that just looks pretty. One of them being eyebrows. And then they had been showing me like a lipstick or something.
Hmm.
So without thinking, I literally had no thought about it. I just put it on.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I'd put on in 7 years. And I forgot about it. I forgot I had even put it on. And so I'm driving home and it like smacks me like I have makeup on and I'm like out in public, whatever.
Mhm.
And I drove by this church and on there's a sign, which I normally don't pay attention to. It said like where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And it literally felt like I was looking at it through like some weird telescope in my eyeballs.
Yeah.
And like I really do feel like that God was like communicating with me, or there was some sort of spiritual communication that like this is for you. I
Mhm.
don't even know how to do, like how I feel about that these days, but um I like was really shocked. I asked for like two more signs to like solidify it, and it happened.
Yeah.
And so that would have been February. And that summer we moved to the campus. Back on lockdown from any sort of individuality or self-expression whatsoever
For the next 8 years.
for the next 8 years. Of course, they weren't really happy because I didn't observe those rules when I wasn't actually employed by them, but that's another story.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
gosh, that is crazy.
that's my little makeup story. So for me to wear makeup is like a really big deal.
Yeah.
And
You do an amazing job on your makeup. And
thank
anytime you've
you.
ever done mine, you've done an amazing job.
I love makeup. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
So much fun. So obviously the person who loves color everywhere is gonna like make it.
exactly. Well, my son still talks about the blue that you did on me. It's been a long time.
Oh yeah.
It was,
Yeah, because we were
I,
doing like completely out of your comfort zone kind of makeup.
we were.
Yeah,
And I mean, it was gorgeous. Like,
it
it
looked
was
really good on
pretty.
you.
Um, but he
He
still
still
talks
talks
about
about
that.
that.
Still talks about it. I think the last time it's been a little bit, maybe a couple months the last time. But I mean, it was a year ago that you did that, I think.
Has it been
At
that
least a
long?
year. I think it was last summer. Not this last summer, but the summer before last. Before this last.
It's been quite a
It's
while.
been a while. Yeah. I mean, you were in that house, but I think you
But
were,
that's like it was right after we moved here.
so maybe it's more like 2 years ago. But the
Yeah.
last time he said something, he said, "Remember when Aunt Sarah did that makeup on you and it was the blue?" And he just really loved it and he thought it was so pretty.
Yeah.
Like it does something to me for him to notice um, his sisters when they put makeup on and dress up really nice and stuff like that. And every time they do it, and it's like he will say, "Oh, the last time he saw his sister that's just right above him come down, she had her high heels on that I'd gotten her from Goodwill. And, oh, she had on I can't remember everything that she had on, but it was really pretty. And she had fixed her hair up and she had done a little bit of makeup. She came down the stairs just feeling herself.
Yes. Oh, she was
And
vibing.
oh yeah, and he looked at her and he said, "Oh, you look beautiful."
Aww.
So pure and sweet. And, it's something that I want to capitalize on because he sees beauty in things that we always thought were sinful. And it
Right.
just, from to come from somebody who's so young, it just sort of validates that is beautiful. It's
Right.
genuinely and innocently beautiful.
Right.
And
It's
you
not
can tell.
conceited.
No, you can just tell it does. Like it really boosted her confidence. And It was so
Aw.
sweet. So sweet. I don't ever want that to be taken from him. And
Right.
I'll fight for it. I'll fight for it not to be.
Yeah.
I am already fighting for it not to be.
Yes. Oh, good.
So, oh, Sarah, that's crazy. That is crazy. It's so tragic in a way.
It does make me upset.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know you're aware of that time of my life being pretty wacky. I know I've not even come close to telling you everything about that
Oh, I'm sure.
time of my life. Um, it was
Well,
a
that
doozy.
8 years especially, like it's come out just sort of slowly over the past 4 years. One, like stories here, small stories here and there. But no, yeah, I don't think you've told me even the half.
Well, and one of the reasons, which angers me as well. Um, so one of those people who thought that they knew my intentions and motivations and
Yeah,
basically my mind and heart,
yeah,
even though we were never that close. Um, I mean, we were good friends, but we weren't that close. Like the last um little ladies retreat we went to, which they had done after the ones that I was helped start,
hmm,
we ended them. And so they were trying to do another version of it.
yeah,
Sat there and tried to tell me that I was still just holding bitterness and anger and resentment without knowing anything and having no clue what I fully experienced
right.
and just really like to assume that they knew what was in people's minds and hearts
Yeah,
and so even though I knew it was a bunch of bullshit,
yeah,
I it still impacted me
absolutely.
and shut me up
Yeah,
because I felt like if I mentioned my experience and the way that it made me feel that I was being angry and bitter
yeah,
when in reality I had not ever processed it in any healthy way.
hmm,
I still, in a lot of ways, there's a lot of it I still haven't.
yeah,
And it just sits there.
right.
And I'm trying to move through it in a healthy way now.
Yeah,
Um, and honestly, I don't think that I've ever become bitter, as some people have tried to say that I have. But people who know me know that that's not the case.
right.
Um, am I angry about things? Absolutely. And I should be
Of course.
because they're ridiculous.
It's
Like those should
valid.
never have happened. Like
Absolutely.
it was wrong.
Yeah,
That's not how you treat people.
no.
So yes, am I angry? Angry at particular things and situations? Absolutely. Does that rule my life? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
So I know that's one reason why I I have well, and plus the other probably bigger half is that I was still in the middle of so much of a shitstorm that I I was surviving from day to day.
exactly. You didn't really have a direction to turn that got you past it.
Like I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, how do I handle what's literally flying in my face right now?
Yeah.
Which was a lot. A
And
lot.
like you said before, you just shut up about
Yeah.
it, which is like probably the worst thing to do. But it's so interesting to me that people cannot see that things that do make you angry and affect you in that way are the things you should not shut up about the most.
Right.
I mean,
It's
they're not being
honestly,
dealt with correctly if you're shutting up about them, even if it isn't valid anger, which that's not the case here.
right,
Even if it's not valid anger, it still needs to be dealt with, right? I mean,
right.
if
Well,
it's
I don't even
affecting
know
you
that
that
there's
way,
any,
there's a reason.
yeah, I don't think there's any invalid anger because something is triggering you to make you feel that way.
Exactly. That's
But
exactly right.
you have to be able to handle it in a healthy way and not just like ruminate and ruminate and ruminate on it. You have to talk about it you to somebody.
Yeah,
I mean, do you have to broadcast everything to the whole world? Maybe,
absolutely. It might help somebody out to know that
maybe
they're
not.
not alone
It
in,
really depends on the person. And honestly, I know that me wanting to speak publicly about things makes a lot of people upset because they
right.
don't like to hear what I have. They don't like my conclusion that what happened was wrong. And they're
Right.
constantly defending really awful people and situations. And it's really, in my opinion, like if that's what you're going to defend, I have no value for your opinion or respect.
I think that some people that are trying to defend it are genuinely scared that there's some part of them that knows you're right. And this might not be the case for everyone, but especially some of the women that are still there, they know you're right, but they don't want to leave it or they don't see a way out for themselves. And so they want to stay blissfully ignorant. Or, and I just think that's wrong.
So much like cognitive dissonance happening
They
in
are,
order for them to stay safe in their mind.
yeah, yeah. See,
And
that's
I
just,
remember
I
experiencing
mean,
it myself.
maybe I can't say it's wrong because they have to do what they have to do to survive, I guess. But it's not right for the younger generation that they're raising. I mean, I don't feel like they're doing a service to their children and to
Oh
their
no.
generations to come. It's going to be worse on them. And so they're being, I don't know. It really upsets me when I see because I'm still so close to it
Yeah.
and when I see injustice done to
Yeah.
especially a woman.
Well, misogyny is like brainwashed into women as well.
Yeah.
And that's how the patriarchal values continue and
Yeah.
how they subjugate themselves. I mean, you have to be brainwashed to minimize yourself to that level that you, although they probably wouldn't admit it, but they do not value themselves at all.
Mm-mm. Nope. Not
And
if
it's
they
really,
believe
really sad.
not if they believe in the patriarchy.
No.
There's no
Well, I
way.
don't know how we got this far and this deep and this serious, but holy
I
moly.
know, right? I haven't laughed in a while.
I know. Oh my goodness. Well, um,
We're gonna have to wrap up anyway.
yeah, but I just put my makeup on and smile and do my thing.
Oh
I
yeah,
wear it with pride.
absolutely.
Some
And it's
people probably
free.
think is conceited and all the wrong things, but don't care about that anymore.
Nope. It's kind of interesting getting on the other side of it because um, it has nothing to do with conceit. Like I
No.
was
I mean, for some people it might, I don't know. But for me,
maybe.
that's not what it's about at
Uh,
all. Like at all. And oh my goodness. I love it. It's like such a calming thing for me to do. Like sometimes I do it at night before I go to bed. I'm like, I feel like color and I'm just gonna see
uh,
what happens. And I'll put on like the crazier colors and
mhm.
they're not even crazy, but like, more
Ones that
vibrant
you wouldn't
colors.
wear. Yeah.
Maybe, not maybe. Depends.
Well, I mean, like on a, I mean, like maybe to a special occasion or something like that. If you
Yeah.
want vibrancy, you've done
Sometimes
a
I just
lot
want
of really
full
cool.
glam.
Yeah,
Like I just want to feel good for a minute.
absolutely.
So yeah.
I am not as makeup artisty as you are, and I definitely don't wear it on a daily basis. I don't. I mean, I don't. Um, I don't hate it. I don't like the process of putting it on. Basically,
My normal stuff is actually quite simple. I don't even wear that much.
yeah,
Um, like I can be done in 5 to 10 minutes
yeah,
max. I just don't like looking. I mean, most of the time these days, like I do feel like I look like a zombie. I feel like a zombie. Like, and so like for me to leave the house, I'm like, I want to at least leave the house and not feel or look like a zombie. I'm like, those are pretty low standards.
yeah. No kidding. Well, I feel like that if it took a super long time to put my makeup on, that I would never do it. Like
Oh yeah.
10 minutes, I can be completely done. But
Yeah.
I only do an everyday makeup. I never like really dabble in a bunch of different colors or
Like a full face.
no, yeah. My oldest daughter has some beautiful palettes that I
Yeah.
want to eventually just like experiment with, see if I can. But yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe the next time we're
I might
together,
get
we
on
can do
here
it
next
live.
time and look like a full-on clown. And that would be fun. We need to do a makeup tutorial where you do my makeup.
Okay.
Yeah. Next time I'm out, we should do a makeup thing.
That would be fun. I've had
Mhm.
people call me from the makeup aisle in the store so lost, and it's people who are like kind of newly discovering makeup who, never had
Yes.
like a mom or a sister,
Yes.
anyone, like even on their own discover it as they lead these types of cults. And they're like calling me in the makeup aisle, what do I do? What do I
Yep.
get? So
That
those
is
have been
so
fun.
cool.
I love doing that for people.
Oh, you've helped me pick out a thing or two.
Yes, I have. All
Oh,
right.
that's great.
I will let you go. I know this is probably even a longer one than normal, but
Oh, probably.
that was some serious stuff today.
I know. We just got on it today.
Well, I'm excited. But I have to go and start checking on some stuff for my kids and
Same. Well, all right. Well, you get done with your stuff and I will talk to you later.
right, we'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.